Gaming Bolt presents the 15 most amazing secrets in The Division.
I know we all want to go back and play video games, so without taking much of your time, let us dive right into it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Division is set in New York City, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles operate out of New York City, so it makes sense that there would be some references to one in the other, right? The Division references the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles very subtly. There is a coffee shop next to 7th Avenue. Near here, you can find on the ground some nunchucks laying on top of a pizza box saying Radical. Splinter Cell. Once again though, the reference here is extremely subtle and easy to miss. When you enter the base of operations, in your front in the right hand corner of the wall, you will see a desk. Walk up to this desk and hey, what do you have there? That's right, it'll be a pair of night vision goggles, and not just any pair either. It's the pair that Splinter Cell's protagonist Sam Fisher is known for. Far Cry. Another secret in the game is the one referencing Ubisoft's popular Far Cry series. Head on over to East 49th Street and go right up to the top of the ramp. At the top you will find loads of glass windows. Head on over to them and examine them. Behind one of them you will see a wall with a Far Cry logo plastered across it. Watch Dogs. Of course, Splinter Cell isn't the only other Ubisoft game referenced in The Division either. When you were doing the subway morgue mission for the tech wing right before the lights are about to turn off, zoom into the control tower and take a good look at the man there that you were supposed to be saving. It's not coincidence that the man seems to be an awful lot like Watch Dogs protagonist Aiden Pearce. To be clear, this isn't Aiden, it's an entirely different character, but the costume he's wearing is basically Aiden's trademark look from the Ubisoft's 2014 hit open world action game. Rayman Raving Rabbids. Yep, another cool secret referencing a Ubisoft game. Head on over to West 29th Street and find the one building that you can actually enter. Go up the stairs and walk through the open door at the back. In this room you will find a stash of board games. Get them to fall down, then shoot them around until you can see their covers. You'll see one of the board games is Rayman Raving Rabbids, a reference to the popular Rayman spin-off developed for the Nintendo Wii. Ubisoft offices, Grow Home and For Honor. If you walk into the Firewall safe house, you find yourself inside a building that appears to be essentially a Ubisoft office transposed as is into the game. They aren't exactly subtle about it. The walls have the Ubisoft logo on them. The walls are full of art from the Ubisoft game Grow Home and a poster for the upcoming Ubisoft action game For Honor. Adventure Time. But Ubisoft don't just make obvious references or ones to their own franchises. The next one is a reference to something that is pretty much as far away from The Division as you can get. It's an Adventure Time secret, seriously. Head on over to West 29th Street and head on over to the park area. On the wall there, you will see what at first appears to be graffiti, but upon closer inspection turns out to be Adventure Time art. Shaun of the Dead. On the map, head up to the location between West 22nd Street and West 23rd Street. There's another park here. Head across the park to the back, and next to this place is an alleyway to the right. Walk into this and activate your Echo. Now, if you haven't seen the movie Shaun of the Dead, there's no big deal about the scene that plays out, right? But if you have, I'm pretty sure you will instantly be able to recognize the scene from the movie. Breaking Bad. Head on over to the Clinton district and find the Wolves' Den, the safe house, and just a little ways away from it, there is a patio decorated for a party. Activate your Echo on this patio and then walk around and observe the characters. Pretty soon you will come across a pair of guys talking in the corner. Mr. William White, his friend Mr. Jonathan Pinkman, a very obvious reference to Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, the two main characters from Breaking Bad. Hell, the point is even driven home, as Mr. White's details will tell you that he was a chemistry teacher who operated a car wash, while Pinkman's will say he had a criminal record. Breaking Bad fans will remember that White was a former chemistry teacher who had a car wash as his money laundering front, while Pinkman had been involved in several drug-related crimes. But that's not all either. Walk to the opposite end from White and Pinkman, and you will come across a guy labelled as Saul Hammond, who, his description will tell you, sold vacuum cleaners, a very overt reference to Saul Goodman, the sleazy criminal lawyer from Breaking Bad, one of whose contacts included a man operating a vacuum cleaner shop as a front, who could essentially make people disappear completely. I Am Legend. I Am Legend is another movie taking place in a post-apocalyptic city, so of course, The Division referencing it isn't a big stretch. Fans of the movie will probably remember the scene where Fred Mannequin is gunned down by Neville, when he is mysteriously found standing in the street in broad daylight. You can actually find that same mannequin in The Division too. During the Grand Central Station mission, once you clear the bridge, walk up to its end, and you will find Fred Mannequin just standing there, chilling behind the boxes. Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean was a laugh riot. The popular British comedy show starring Rowan Atkinson remains one of the most enduring legacies of British pop culture within the last 50 years or so. While Mr. Bean never caught on in America as much as it did across the Atlantic, it seems that some guys on the Ubisoft Massive team were fans of the show anyway, because within the game, they stuffed a reference to the live-action TV show, a parked vehicle with a sofa on top of it, and a corpse in the sofa, referencing the episode of the TV show where Bean buys a new sofa for his apartment and decides to take it home by hitching it atop his car. Doctor Who. Mr. Bean isn't the only British TV show that Ubisoft Massive are fans of. Apparently they're also all into Doctor Who. During the Lexington Event Center mission in the game, if you go off the beaten path and go down the stairs in the building instead of going up, you're eventually going to come across a whole horde of mannequins with knives in their hands, and a dead man on the floor with knives sticking out of him, a reference to an episode from Doctor Who where killer mannequins are on the loose. Uncharted. One of the characters reconstructed from your Echo in the game turns out to be a curious person who calls himself Nate Dragon. He's a historian, wanted for questioning regarding some high-profile museum heists, which is a very clear reference to Uncharted, and its protagonist Nathan Drake, of course. Home Alone. Home Alone is a classic kids movie, dealing with one kid left home alone, spoiler, on a winter night. The sequel then sees him in New York City, which I imagine is enough of a connection with The Division for there to be a secret referencing it in the game. In the game, head on over to the Hudson Yards, and soon you stumble across a description of a boy home alone in his apartment, and people trying to break in. This one actually gets dark, as a recording of the kid calling his father plays, with the recording ending with the boy and the father both screaming, implying both of their deaths. This never happened in the movie. Joker. This is probably one of the easiest secrets to find in the entire game. Any place where there are missing persons posters, for example right outside your base of operations, go ahead and read the missing persons notifications until you come across one from a man named Joker Nicholson, whose description will say, frequently says, "Why so serious?" which is after all a reference to the famous Batman villain the Joker, who was played by Jack Nicholson in the 1989 movie, and then by Heath Ledger in 2008's The Dark Knight. Ledger's Joker was known for his catchphrase, "Why so serious?"
And that wraps it up. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Twitter and Facebook. And why not consider subscribing? We upload some really cool videos almost every day. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gaming!